Hey everybody, this is Coaster Crazy 10, and this is going to be a video review slash overview of Dark Cloud for the PS2. We're going to go right in. This is a dungeon crawl RPG kind of thing, and first off I'm just going to show you guys just a sample dungeon. Basically you go in here and you get to, each time you go into a dungeon you pick the level that you want. So it's divided usually in 15 to 20 levels or so, and here I'm just going to pick 12. It's completely arbitrary, to be honest. So here I'm just going to show you guys some of the basics about this game. There's some really important aspects, so I'm going to try to go fast because there's a lot to cover, so if I go in a little too fast, I apologize. It's an action RPG kind of thing. You lock on with the circle button, press X to attack, pretty standard. Here I'm repairing my weapon. Each time you hit an enemy, the WHP goes down, and you have repair powder, and that fixes it, essentially. You have to buy those at stores. And some enemies drop items like that. That's just money. Here's a treasure chest, and I got the bone key. This allows me to access a secret area later. The thing just dropped something. This is interesting. These little circles affect your status. Right here, the WHP was recovered for free. Sometimes it's detrimental. These big chests are for king mimics or weapons. In this case, it was a king mimic. Mimic is just an enemy that looks like a treasure chest, but is actually an enemy. Dran's crest, that allows me to exit the dungeon at this specific level for this specific dungeon. Here's the map. It just shows you where everything is. And here's a water hole. This replenishes your thirst meter. And this is the magic crystal. It just lets you know where all the enemies and treasure chests and the Atla are, which we'll get to Atla later. This treasure chest is locked, and there's usually a trap unless you have a treasure chest key. I always guess explosion because I always wear a poison amulet, and a curse really isn't that big of a deal. So I guessed right. I got a weapon for myself. It's pretty cool. Alright, here's the secret area. You have to select the bone key, and you go in and you can get some extra stuff. And this is the end of the level. You just basically select Dran's crest or whatever the key might be for the specific dungeon, and you go to the next level, or you can leave. So here we are. This is the main menu. After I'm basically upping my character's stats. This apple of Fruit of Eden or whatever gives you some extra hit points, and this gourd increases your thirst meter. And your thirst meter goes down as you run, and your hit points obviously go down as you hit. That is a pocket, allows me to carry more stuff. Each pocket you get adds 10 items to your inventory list. 10 item slots. Here's a world map, and I'm going to go to Matataki Village, and we're going to see a little bit of story. This is another character in the game, and you have to basically earn his trust for him to follow you in your party. And the other character that I showed you earlier is a cat thing. It used to actually be a cat. Now, certain times you'll get these quick time events. Here's an example. Other times it's for boss battles and stuff like that. And it's just basically timing button hits. This just basically kind of proves to this guy that you're pretty cool, and it helps him at least trust you, know that you're not a bad guy. And you get to name him, and I name him Jimbabwe because I like to give my characters interesting names. And he announces it like he's proud. Yeah, and then it also has daytime, nighttime effects. This is just a brief overview of everything. I understand it's a lot to take in, but this is a pretty deep game. Here I'm just unlocking more of the story mode so I can go to the dungeon. I've played this before, so I know what's going on. Hopefully you can read this text. I'll let this go on for a sec. Basically this world was destroyed by a dark genie, and this giant tree is the source of life for the village, and without the water, he broke up the river, and without the water from the river, this thing is withering and dying. So basically you have to reform the river, and you have to get the river parts from the dungeon, which has been sealed inside Atla, which are just like little spheres with stuff in them. And then the stone on his hand is called an Atlamilla, and you can move stuff around and place things and that kind of stuff. That's the power to do that is basically within that stone. That crazy old guy gave it to you at the beginning of the game. So here we're going in the dungeon. We're going to go through the first level, and basically everything's the same. There's different enemies, there's different terrain, and you also now have Atla because this is a new dungeon and a new level, and each level has 8 Atla usually. So sometimes the floors have traps. Here, instead of increasing your experience points from getting higher experience points from using your weapon, you get less. Here's an Atla. Just press Action X and you get a piece of the world. Now I'm using Duran's Crest here that lets me run really fast. Now this guy's gonna get me with a goo thing, makes me move slower. It's just a status ailment. I heal it up with soap later on after I get this red berry or whatever that is. Yeah, red berry. See, I'm running real slow. Even with that Duran's Feather, which makes you run fast. See, and then I just cured it so I can go fast, just like I used to be able to. Now I'm going to switch to my other character. She has a slingshot. Usually she's not very effective, but here the enemies are pretty low level, so she can kill them in a couple hits, it looks like. And I just got the map and the crystal again. See, here we're going to fight this thing. 1 or 2 hits. Now, she can't touch the Atla because she doesn't have the Atlamilla on her hand, so you have to switch back to your main character. His actual name is Toan, but I just named him myself, and you can get your stuff. And I just gotta switch back to her, so I guess to spice up the gameplay, I don't know. That is the equivalent of the bone key in the previous dungeon. It just lets you access the secret area. And again, I'm just gonna get some more Atla. Most of the dungeons are pretty simple. You have up to 6 characters, and certain characters are more useful. They have different kinds of weapons, different ranges. One character has a gun. The only problem, sometimes it's difficult to line up for a treasure chest or an Atla just because the game's kind of old and it's just kind of, it doesn't really lock you onto anything. Yeah. And there's more Atla here. Now some people really compare this to Zelda, but I don't see the connection that much. I mean, I guess I sort of understand it's a sword hack and slash RPG, but I think there's a lot of extra in this game that really sets it apart. And for such an early PS2 game, it's very well done. It's very immersive. Just collecting things. Now, Pow is a person. He's the only person that I got so far. Here we're going in the secret area. We got all these items that I could use for damage, but I just don't. And there are some... The dungeons are randomly generated, so there are some empty spaces, but usually it's not too bad. Now here, they're really beating up on me, and I'm gonna eat some bread in a second. That's basically just your health. You have different kinds of health, but bread is the most standard, and then you can also carry water to drink, and that helps your thirst. Premium chicken helps your thirst more, or your hunger more, I apologize. And that'll be the last enemy, and this is the last Atla of the dungeon. And next we're going to show some of the Giorama menu, which is basically interfacing with the Atla and the Atlamilla. Here I kind of fail. I forget what he actually wants. I thought he wanted that chestnut or whatever, but he actually wants a shiny stone, because he's an owl, because that makes sense. And that's basically a level of the dungeon, and each dungeon has, I'm not entirely sure, but usually 15 or more, I believe, and it's pretty awesome. So yeah, you can leave the dungeon or go to the next floor after each level. Now we're back at the village, and I'm going to place some stuff, and this is pretty easy. You just press the select button, and it brings you up above the environment, and then you press triangle for the menu. Just this real nice menu. I've only got this one thing. You can rotate it with the L2 and R2 buttons and place it pretty much wherever you want. and depending on where you place it, people will be happy or upset, and the object is to place things in such a manner that everyone's happy, and you get I think you get a special deal if you get everybody happy. So here I'm just going to place some trees around just to show how easy it is, and I'll place this chunk of earth in a second. There's a person that likes to live higher up, so you would put their house up there. That's everything I can do at this point. So then you place it down, you can immediately run around and interact with that. And sometimes there are treasure chests, which is kind of what I'm looking for. They give you, you know, health bonuses and gourds for your thirst and everything. So yeah, that's about the overview of Dark Cloud. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.